Before 6 girls were allowed into those mountains, the counselors read them 5 rules. She thought the rules were meant to keep them safe. By morning, she understood they were something else entirely. Hi, I'm Nicole, and this is Haunted Threads After Dark, where I read spooky, scary, paranormal stories. If that's your thing, then go ahead and turn the volume up. Turn the lights down. But whatever you do, don't look behind you. She was 12 when her parents sent her to sleepaway camp in western North Carolina, close to the Tennessee line. During the day, it was canoes, crafts, campfires, and bells for meals. At night, she slept in a bunkhouse with 11 other girls, where somebody was always whispering, snoring, or moving around. Halfway through the session, the camp posted a sign-up sheet for an overnight trip to the Appalachian Trail. 6 girls only. She signed her name up immediately. The 2 counselors leading the trip were only 18 and 19. On the drive out, one of them pulled out a laminated card and read the rules. Nobody walks off alone. If you hear your name, do not answer. After dark, stay inside your tent no matter what you hear. Do not shine your flashlight into the tree. And no whistling. She didn't ask why. She was 12, and she assumed there was a good reason. They were dropped beside a gravel road at a break in the trees. The van drove away, and the mountain became quiet almost immediately. The farther they hiked, the less they heard. Eventually, even the birds stopped. Late that afternoon, one of the girls froze in the middle of the trail. She said someone had called her name from the trees. They hadn't yelled it. They had simply said it softly, like the person was standing only a few feet away. The girl said it sounded exactly like her mother. She started to answer. One of the counselors grabbed her arm hard enough to leave a mark and said, "Don't." That was all she said. That little girl is not listening to the rules. After that, the counselor stopped talking and began watching the woods on both sides of the trail. They reached the campsite a few hours before sunset. The girls were paired off, and she shared a tent with a girl named Dana. They ate noodles around a small fire, but nobody was really laughing anymore. The counselors kept checking the sky. Inside before the dark, they repeated, not at dark, but before. As soon as the light began to fade, she and Dana zipped themselves inside their tent. She remembers thinking the fabric felt as thin as a t-shirt. She fell asleep quickly. Sometime during the night, she woke up. Her body knew something was wrong before her mind did. The forest was completely silent. No insects, no frogs, no wind. Then she heard footsteps, slow, heavy, one step, then a pause. Something was moving between the tents. She knew it wasn't one of the campers. Anyone outside would have had a buddy, a flashlight, a whispered conversation. There was only one set of footsteps. No light, no voice. Whatever it was taking its time. She reached over and shook Dana. Dana sat up. "What?" she said at full volume. The footsteps stopped. Her whole body went cold. "Don't move," she whispered. "Don't say anything." They pulled their sleeping bags over their heads. The footsteps started again, closer. She could hear the ground compress beneath each step. Then they stopped beside the tent. She could feel something standing there, and she could hear it breathing, deep, ragged, far too slow. Then the tent wall pressed inward beside her face. It wasn't a bump. It wasn't the wind. It was a slow, deliberate push. The fabric came in until it touched her sleeping bag. She could feel the shape of whatever it was pressing against it. It wasn't a hand. It wasn't a paw. That is all she ever was willing to say. The pressure eased, then it pressed inward again beside her shoulder, then her hip, then her feet. It was feeling along the tent, checking what was inside. One hard push made the entire tent lean, and one of the poles popped. Dana sucked in a breath. Then everything stopped. She said that was the worst part because it felt like the thing outside was standing there, deciding what to do next. She doesn't know how long it stayed. Finally, it stepped away and walked into the dark. She never went back to sleep. At some point, she pressed the button on her plastic watch just to see the little green light. She needed proof that the time was still moving, that morning was still coming. Then a scream came from the woods. She had heard foxes and bobcats. She has listened to recordings for years. It was none of them. She said it sounded like a woman laughing and choking at the same time, and it lasted far too long. At sunrise, she crawled outside. One of the tent poles was bent, not broken, bowed, as though something heavy had leaned against it. One of the counselors stared at it for 2 seconds. Then she immediately began taking the tent down. Nobody mentioned the footsteps. Nobody mentioned the scream. They packed everything and left before the dew had dried. She and Dana never spoke about it again. She never went camping again. She is in her 30s now, and there's one part of her story she rarely tells anyone. Ever since that night, she sometimes notices people who don't seem quite right. Someone standing in line, waiting at a crosswalk, sitting alone on a train platform. There is nothing obviously wrong with them, but when she speaks with them, they don't answer normally. Sometimes they don't answer at all. They only turn and stare. And they keep staring for 1 second too long, like they recognize her. She lives in Philadelphia now, surrounded by millions of people, but she still sees them. Maybe she was simply frightened so badly at 12 that part of her never came back from those mountains. But she can't shake that feeling that something is still waiting for her to return, because it didn't get her the first time. Now my question is, why are you bringing 12-year-olds up to an Appalachian trail with 2 young teenagers, or 2 older teenagers, 18 and 19, for them to be so paranoid when things like this they know can happen? And then when the little girl heard the voice and didn't listen and almost spoke, I don't understand the point of it. What is that point to do that? Because then they're paranoid and they're like, get in before bed or before, it gets dark. I mean, what is the point? I don't understand that. But anyway, I don't camp because of reasons like this. So anywho, if you like the story, please like and follow me here at Haunted Threads After Dark. If you have a story that you would like to send me, then go ahead and go to hauntedthreadsafterdark.com. The link is in my bio, so it makes it really easy. You just go to my profile and just click the link, and it will send you right to my website where you can submit a story if you'd like. So let me know in the comments what you thought of the story. Let me know if you like this kind of thing. And until tomorrow, when I bring you more nightmares, sleep tight if you can. Bye.